This is the main Shiva Swetharanyeswarar shrine with all these beautiful granite pillars. There is a homam that seems to have just gotten over. The lamps in the distance is where Swetharanyeswarar Lingam is. It's about 10:30 in the morning. The planet involved in Swetharanyeswarar is, of course, Budh, concerned with intellect, intelligence, communication, speech, and writing. We are on our way to the Swetharanyeswarar Budh temple from Brihadeeswarar Kovil, which we've just finished. Time is about 9 in the morning. We should be there in about half an hour's time. The distance is about 20 kilometers on good roads. The local name is a small village called Thiruvenkadu, which translates to Ven is white, Kadu is forest, and Thiru is a way of denoting holiness. So this roughly translates to the holy white forest, which is roughly the same thing when you say it in Sanskrit, Shwetaranyam, which is Shweta is white and Aranya is of course forest. So Swetharanyeswarar is named after a place. It is said that at one point this place must have been overrun by vegetation that was basically white flowered. Must have been a sight to see. It must have all changed. I do not expect to see a carpet of wildflowers in today's times. There are inscriptions, like with every Chola construction. There were masters at writing down in stone who built it and when it was done and who was the ruler and so on. So this temple is no different. Swetharanyeswarar Temple was built in the 10th century of Aditya Chola I and in the 11th century of the famous Rajaraja Chola I, the master builder of Brihadeeswarar Temple in Thanjavur. There are inscriptions from both of them. There are later inscriptions from the Pandyas as well as from the Vijayanagara Empire, especially King Krishnadevaraya. So this seems to have an illustrious patronage, but it seems to be much smaller in scale, while the Vaidishwaran temple, the largest of them all in this circuit, covers almost 11 acres. This one is 2 acres or just a little over 2 acres. The other thing was the actual temple may have been present in the 7th or 8th centuries itself, if not earlier, because this again is a Paadal Petra Sthalam, which is Tamil for a holy place praised in song. The song in question being an anthology of poems from the 7th and 8th century by famous Tamil poets called Tevaram. That takes it beyond question that this temple existed in some form even as early as the 7th or 8th centuries, and who knows how long before that it must have been there too. We don't know that for sure. By the time the Cholas took over and did their thing, this place was already 300 or 400 years old. The planet involved in Swetharanyeswarar is, of course, Budh, which is Mercury, concerned with intellect, intelligence, communication, speech and writing, commerce and mathematics. When somebody's Budh is strong in their natal chart, then you expect them, by this logic, to have a quick wit, very good at learning, good in business, clarity of thought, and eloquence. That's a good combination, by the way. Conversely, if somebody is afflicted, has an afflicted Mercury, then they may have communication issues, speech defects, learning disability, and erratic behavior. The story of Budh is very different from what we've seen so far. Budh was born of an illicit union between Chandra, which is another planet by the way, another Graha, and the wife of Jupiter, yet another Graha. Chandra is said to have abducted Jupiter's wife, and Budh was born of that union. And this child in a way reflects the somewhat modern concern of parentage and of something that you were not responsible for directly, but you were the recipient of public shaming and your own feeling that something was not quite right with your own parentage. The legend of Budh talks about just such a human predicament in a way, of suffering from a dosha not caused by you or your actions, but those that were given to you ancestrally. So with that kind of an issue, he came to this place that we are going to, Swetharanyeswarar, and Shiva again rose up to the occasion by curing him of that dosha and also gave him the planetary status of being one of the Navagrahas. He got back his stature and all has been well since then. As with all the Navagraha temples, the main deity is never the planet. It's always Shiva. And here too, Shiva is in the form of Swetharanyeswarar, the lord of the white forest. One legend has it that he made an appearance and gave a darshan to his devotees long ago in his Jyotir form, which was basically a flash of light. It was so powerful that it converted the entire environment and made that whole forest white. His wife here, Parvati, is in the form of Brahma Vidya Ambal, which is to do with knowledge, and therefore it sort of fits hand in glove with Budh's own rule of the intellect. Budh's story in terms of suffering from inherited problems, and therefore the dosha removal involves some method from Shiva of wiping clean is inherited damage. And that has been going on from at least the 7th century onwards. The temple is not grand or big, but it is nice and quaint. This is the tank, the Agni Theertham. This temple has 3 tanks, and their names are quite interesting. The 3 tanks here are called Surya Theertham, Chandra Theertham, and Agni Theertham. The choice of names is interesting because where Budh stands for intellect, even the temple tanks are named after 3 major light sources. Quite illuminating. This has been kept reasonably well, in good condition, unlike the one at the Guru temple. Still weighs on my mind the shabbiness of that, as against the care taken here and also at Vaideshwaran Kol. The Shiva and Vishnu meeting of some kind in that frieze on top, because I can certainly see Shiva with his snake and conch and everything else, and I can see the blue-bodied Vishnu with his Sudarshan Chakra. Here is Ganapati. Again, some loads of garish paint have been used to bring it up to speed with all good intentions. Here is the Nandi. Nice. And opposite, deep inside, must be the Swetharanyeswarar. Here is the second of the 3 Theerthams, the Surya Theertham. There is a shrine for Surya here. And this tank also is well kept. It is a delight to see this clean. There is even a sign outside which says, "Help us keep the tank clean." Good job. We are in the outer circuit beyond the outer walls of the main temple. This is the western Gopuram at the back, equally tall, 7-tiered, and quite well kept again. And on the other side of the temple, on the northern side, we have the Chandra Theertham. Archana going on at the Budh shrine. Brahma Vidya Parvati shrine, which has managed to be in time for the main puja. Now, when you make these journeys, whether you're religious or not, something feels good when you arrive in time for something special. All the green offerings. Most of the temples for these Navagrahas associate themselves with colors. In this case, for Mercury, the day is Wednesday, Budh, and the color is green. So people take offerings as green vegetables, green gram, moong dal, and maybe a green cloth as well. All the pillars are very Chola, again, tall, majestic granite. This is a bit of a channel for the Abhishekam water in the inner sanctum to come out. So now we'll go by the back entrance and see the main deity of Swetharanyeswarar, the Lord of the White Forest. This is the main Shiva Swetharanyeswarar shrine with all these beautiful granite pillars. There is a homam that seems to have just gotten over. There is a big mural here that again features Shiva in the center, Parvati, certainly Vishnu. Seems to be a celebration of the rishis. Not sure what the story is. The lamps in the distance is where Swetharanyeswarar Lingam is. It's about 10:30 in the morning. There is a sparse crowd. People have still made the trip. It's a Monday. There are Dwarapalakas at the gates. And before we enter the shrine, I will be switching off the camera. Very beautiful, very calm, with 3 temple tanks, 3 forms of Shiva, an active shrine for Parvati Amman, and a very nice shrine for Budh himself. We are leaving now. A very active, clean temple. The story of Budh, standing for intellect while we having a troubled childhood, somehow seems to have captured my own attention and interest.